That is the voice of the Bears head coach, Ben Johnson, and he apparently did see a little bit of the broadcast because his kids had to go to bed early, didn't get to watch the end of the game, and so they got up and they were watching it, and Ben was there and saw some of it. Did not want to get into any criticism of Troy Aikman, but he
it did seem like it bothered him or registered. It seemed like it.
I'm not saying it didn't.
Struck
I'm
a nerve.
just saying I thought he handled it correctly by not trying to pick a fight with Troy Aikman about it.
You don't want to do that.
No.
I don't think you want to do that. He was asked twice about it, once from Jeff Joniak, the other time at his news conference after the game yesterday. His kids apparently brought it up over breakfast. So maybe it was something.
Awesome.
But the clip we heard coming in, Caleb Williams did throw into double coverage for no apparent reason. This is what you want your analyst to do, Bears fans, right? You want your analyst to tell you the truth. And the truth is that ball should never have been thrown. And the truth is that Caleb Williams should have checked down on that one. So I don't know. Troy Aikman has been critical of the Bears in the past.
Troy Aikman,
but he's among the best at what he does.
He does a great job. I really, we were lucky enough to have him on as an analyst for a few years. I've got nothing but time for how hard the man works and how his understanding of the game goes from just beyond a normal player. He's a great analyst. He spends a lot of time doing it. And frankly, he has an understanding of different categories of statistics, etc., the Aikman ratings he used to do. I got nothing but time for Troy.
And what about the explanation that he gave when he was telling the audience why Luther Bird III in that case where he had that nice gain was so open?
Yes.
About the scheme and the deep crossers that are, I think, significant parts of the Ben Johnson offense.
Right.
And you liken it to Detroit and all the things. He didn't gush over Ben Johnson. He certainly didn't gush over Caleb Williams the way that you might have perceived him to say complimentary things about Jayden Daniels. But frankly, Jayden Daniels has earned that at this stage of his career more than Caleb Williams.
I think we should listen to a little bit more of it.
Let's hear what else we have to say.
Because it's it's not all seashells and balloons. He is critical when he feels that the point demands it.
There's another one of those deep crossers that you see so much of within this offensive scheme, and Caleb Williams, he's a little late to see it and almost throws that thing flat-footed, but with his arm, he gets it out there to him and a nice pickup. Yeah, I'm not sure if he does. Here's Sainer still right here, and Caleb Williams comes off the play fake, and he has a chance, but either that's just the throw's not even close. If Sainer still wasn't there, the ball would not have been catchable.
Caleb Williams frustrated on the bench.
And that is an area that Caleb Williams needs to improve as they move through the rest of this season, the run after the catch. In fact, in talking with Ben Johnson, he refers to it as a runner's ball, meaning get the ball in his hands with the ability to run after the reception.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I thought that was fine.
I
didn't have a problem with
telling
that.
the audience what Caleb Williams needs to improve because this is what the head coach told you. This is what you want from an analyst.
I agree.
You don't want things to be sugar-coated or have there are times where you're watching a broadcast, you want to hear the homer call. I get all that. But Troy Aikman is respected, has credibility, and if he tells you what Caleb Williams needs to do to get better, I think that you should pay attention to that.
I think from those cuts we just listened to, Buck was more critical than Troy.
Right.
To be fair, Buck was responding to what we were watching as viewers on TV, a sulking, bad body language.
There's no doubt, though, Caleb Williams' body language needs work.
He talked about that. He talked about that in his interview session. He said yesterday that he's aware that the cameras are on him and they are measuring him and they are reviewing his body language and everything that he does, and he has to be more aware of it and he has to be more understanding of that. That means that they saw it too, and that means that someone had words with him.
Mully,
about
everybody
it.
saw it last year.
Yes.
Everybody saw a
but
rookie quarterback
he
going
was
through
frustrated
a 10-game losing
during
streak.
this game.
Well,
The
this
same
game
stuff
too,
was
and he's
evident.
conscious of it.
Yes.
You've got to be conscious of it.
Yes.
If you want to be the leader that's respected as Caleb Williams wants to be respected, and he's going to be that guy, there's nothing critical about acknowledging what you're seeing in front of you. It's just acknowledging what you're seeing and putting it into some sort of context.
I got absolutely no problem with him doing that.
I wonder what George McCaskey thought if he was listening. Oh, wait, he doesn't listen to Joe Buck.
Does he not?
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, that's an oldie, but a goodie. So if there's something that we missed as Bears fans consuming it, because there was like a massive amount of outrage
There's a lot
on social media. Now, the one thing I noticed that it
lot of
was
reaction.
way more he went way above and beyond, I thought, complimenting Jayden Daniels until he had the fumble.
He also said fortunate. He used that word when talking and describing the 55-yard touchdown by DeAndre Swift.
Right, there was a there was a whiff. There was a whiff tackle.
Yeah,
I mean there was a whiff tackle on that play.
Come on, overall,
I thought honestly,
overall it was fine.
I thought the broadcast was fine. I don't know why. I mean, you must be listening with like really kind of critical ears, or you must be, And I think you said it earlier. If you want cheerleading, there are places to go for that.
Well,
If
unless
you want
something, to your point, Mully, unless
analysis.
something crazy happens, we will not hear the Bears being called by Buck and Aikman again this season. So if you're into and we do a lot of.
What about the playoffs?
Well, that's what I said. Unless something like that happens.
That would be crazy.
I don't know. Maybe crazy was the wrong word. They're
You
not
said 11
scheduled.
wins. You're Mr. 11 win guy.
I think I was more 10. I think it was more 10. But I was the one who did pick the Bears to beat the Commanders and beat them by a
Wow, getting a little chesty here.
if we're going to be accurate.
Hold on, let's go back to our previous segment. Dustin, that was a tremendous prediction. You have great insight, and I look forward to your next bit of wisdom.
Did you must have recently taken your Odyssey training about how to treat coworkers in the workplace.
He's been listening to the Bears.
I've been listening to the Bears. I'm giving you positive affirmation.
He's trying to make you happy to be here in the morning.
I want to be the Ben Johnson, and you are the Caleb Williams. I want to be your Ben Johnson. You are good enough. You are strong enough, and darn it, I appreciate you.
312-644-6767. Let's start with Jeff. Jeff's on the Odyssey app. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I respect and appreciate you guys working as you do so I can listen to you every day. But the people that are butthurt over Troy Aikman need to get over it. This is horrible. The guy is a great analyst. Yeah. I mean, you don't get a chance to see the all 22 as the game's going on, but he's one of those guys that can explain to you what you're not seeing and then point it out. And if he points out that, Caleb threw a bad pass or his footwork was bad, that is exactly what he was hearing when he was doing the interviews with the coaches. And Jim Miller and Tim Jenkins, who's on this station, those guys do the same thing when they're analyzing tape on him. They'll come out and they'll tell you exactly what they're seeing. They're not going to be fanish about it. And I wouldn't want that. When he points out that Rome throws his hands up with the mailbox arm and says, it's an RPO, and if you want to throw that, he's wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. But then he said, I understand it was third down and he ran for it. He took the sure thing. You can't get upset about that. And, I just think people need to get over. I think they're listening with too sensitive ears if they thought Aikman did anything bad today or that night.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. I agree.
Good phone call. A lot of good examples. There were several of them. I think we're getting some pushback on the text line from apparently Jayden Daniels laughed or smiled after throwing an interception, and then he did not receive the criticism that Caleb Williams received for having different body language on the sidelines. Yeah, I get it, but I don't know that that still is something that would bother you that much.
Let's try Sean. Sean's in Romeoville. Hey, Sean.
All right, good morning, guys. The last guy, he stole my thunder a little bit. I was just going to say, I think Caleb thinks he's going to be great. I still think he doesn't quite see the field the way Jayden Daniels does, because I was going to use that example of how, Jayden Daniels, he quickly saw that blown coverage, and hit the guy. And then when Troy Aikman called out how a Doomsday was running downfield and he put his hand up, I just don't think Caleb saw that right away because that was a surefire touchdown. So I just think at this stage he doesn't see the field quite as well. And, Jayden Daniels has been in the same offense for 20 games. Caleb's been in a new offense for only 5. So, it's going to take a little bit more time. But I think at this point, Jayden Daniels, his poise is a little better, and he sees the field a little bit better than Caleb does at this point. But I think that gap's going to close. I really do.
Thanks for the phone call, 708. Fans are complaining that Troy had nothing bad to say about Daniels, but then criticized everything Bears and said the TD was just lucky. You two are having a terrible show so far.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
I guess in fairness, Mully, we have to respect that opinion because that is his analysis or her analysis of our show. So thank you for listening.
That's kind of you. Amy is in Lake Villa. Hey, Amy.
Hey, all right. That texter is wrong because you're having a good show.
Thank you.
Born and bred Bears fan, forced into it by my dad, but I think Troy Aikman wasn't saying anything that the Bears fans haven't been saying. He's just saying a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Because I think there are lots of F-bombs at my house and probably across the Bears nation that Troy Aikman's just saying it a lot nicer than what we were saying.
As he should.
Thank you. That's a good point, Amy.
He's going to provide commentary. He's going to provide his opinion and his informed opinion and analysis. And that's what you want. And it should be more sanitized than whatever you're hearing in the living room or the bar room.
Caleb Williams is still a young man, and he's still a very young quarterback. And I think that if you look at Jayden Daniels and the way that his college career went and everything that happened with him moving to LSU and all the rest of it, he played like an extra season of games as opposed to Caleb Williams. He's played in a lot more games. Caleb Williams is still a fresh, young, figuring it out quarterback. He's been with now he's on his 4th play caller, and this is the first one where you feel like he's excited, as he said, to go
this
to
is
work.
The first guy that he feels seen by.
First guy he feels he's learning from.
Validated.
Oh my God.
You're the one who opened that door.
No, but I think like what
the question. Let me read the question again.
I get it.
Is it important in all walks of life to have positive motivation to drive you when you wake up?
Are we saying that I wrote that question? Is that
no,
what we're saying?
I think that your heart wrote that question.
And
you're just speaking from the heart.
I did actually write that question, but it was if you read all of the questions, the first question was about Ben Johnson and him saying that he wakes up in the morning,
right?
And it gives
Molly, it's a good question.
The next question was turning that to Jalen, and anyway. You'd have to read the order of them to understand the connection between them. And unfortunately, we all submit questions, and they are taken out of whatever context.
We're dealing with 2 themes, though, today, and they're good ones. Positive affirmation, which is what Ben Johnson provides Caleb Williams.
It's all that Dustin needs.
And it's all Dustin needs on a daily basis. Yeah. And then also the value of critical thinking and analysis from Troy Aikman. Because really, when you're watching a game on Monday Night Football, if it's a national stage, you want to get smarter from that experience.
Yes.
You want to know what you're missing and what they're seeing from their trained eye. Troy Aikman does as good of a job as anybody in a booth at doing that, at providing that. Even though sometimes it may not be what you want to hear, sometimes it may be what you need to hear. Not always the same thing.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Let's try Tony. He's in Wonder Lake. Hey, Tony.
Hey, good morning, guys. Long time no talk.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, how you doing, man? One of the things I wanted to bring up was Troy is speaking from a position of being one of the most polished NFL quarterbacks in history when it comes to the fundamentals and how to play quarterback 101. It's a different perspective if you're listening to a guy like, let's say, Greg Olsen, who played tight end. Troy, you're not going to get anything over on him as far as what it takes to be an acceptable NFL quarterback in his eyes. He's looking at the game from a different perspective. It would be the same thing if, like, let's say a guy like Peyton Manning was in the booth. He's going to be overcritical of that particular position because nobody's going to get one over on him as to what is acceptable when you're playing that position. So really what they should do is they should gather up all of Troy's tapes and listen to them and pick and choose what would be the best teaching method to go forward with Caleb Williams, because you're not going to get an any better analysis of what the faults are than listening to a guy like Troy.
Interesting, Tony. Thanks for the phone call.
I'm not saying you're wrong there, Tony, but I think he's getting that from Ben Johnson. I think he's getting like a really solid, studied opinion from a guy who has done it at the highest level on offense in the NFL.
Yeah, Ben Johnson's not just telling him what he wants to hear.
No.
Not by any stretch.
No, he is.
No.
And Ben Johnson, I think, is doing an excellent job with Caleb Williams. And I think if you listen to what Caleb said, he knows he knows that's happening.
He understands what's happening
and
here.
he knows he's getting better.
Yeah.
And he knows that this guy is helping him.
We're seeing him get better.
That's
In
right.
real time, you're
Yes.
seeing the development of a franchise quarterback.
It's great.
Now, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, because we all have seen, this kind of thing kind of slow down or go in the opposite direction. It's only 3 straight victories. We're still early in this season, year 2 for Caleb Williams. But 22 starts into his NFL career, I think we all can agree, I hope we all can agree, this is headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I've got a friend who was at the game who lives out in D.C., and he texted with this, Caleb Williams isn't good enough yet, and blah, blah, blah. And he wanted my opinion on that, and I was very frank with him. And I said that if you don't see that he's improving, then you're not watching them on a week-to-week basis. He's definitely improving. Are there problems with what he's doing? Listen, we have seen so many different quarterbacks tried out in this city, and I think that we are seeing improvement, self-improvement, but improvement from a coaching standpoint.
No doubt.
That we never saw with Mitchell Trubisky.
Evidence that wasn't obvious before.
Justin Fields.
No doubt.
With so many other guys that have been through that position. But we're really seeing him improve. And we're seeing a guy that knows what the hell he's doing as the head coach. We're also seeing a guy that knows what he's doing on defense. I am very impressed with what Dennis Allen has been able to do. I think this game against New Orleans is a very interesting one. We'll get into this.
Yeah, because of his past with the Saints.
Because of his connection with them.
His emotional attachment
This is
or
a Dennis
his
Allen
redemption
game.
tour.
Thank you.
But I also think, last thing on Caleb Williams, if you're being critical of and you're not seeing that kind of progress, you might have an unrealistic standard, because what you have seen objectively is a quarterback who's gotten better through 5 games.
Yeah.
And he's also buying in to the whole idea that Ben Johnson's way is the right one.
And it's not about him versus Jayden Daniels. That storyline was erased a long time ago. They chose him over Daniels. Did they do enough homework on Daniels? You can talk about that all you want. But this is where you're at and what you have, and you went out, you hired an offensive coach and gave him a boatload of money to take over here, and guess what? He's been doing a really good job, as is evidenced by the play of the quarterback and the fact that they're now above 500
Absolutely.
for the first time in his tenure.